You know, October's supposed to be spooky for haunted houses, not real ones. But here in the Denver metro area, the scams are scarier than any ghost story. I'm not talking about flickering lights or strange noises in the attic. I'm talking about real estate scams that can drain your savings, steal your home, or wreck your plans to move on to your next chapter. And trust me, after 25 years in this business, these are the ones that have given me every gray hair you see on my head. Today, I'll walk you through 2 of the worst scams I see happening right here in Colorado, plus a few quick hits you should know about, and I'm going to link you to my latest blog so you can do a deeper dive into any needed resources. Now let me show you how I got introduced to this. This is one that makes my stomach drop every time, and that's wire fraud. A few years ago, an older couple in Longmont sold their home so they could move closer to the daughter and grandkids down in Parker. They had about $245,000 sitting in the bank from their proceeds from the sale of their home. Now fast forward, they found a great place near the daughter, they put in their offer, they went through the buying process, they did their due diligence. About a week before the closing, they got what looked like a totally legitimate email from their title company saying they needed to wire their funds that day to avoid delays. Same logo, same tone, seemingly same everything. They printed the email out, walked into the bank, and with the manager and teller's help, they wired the funds, every penny. A couple of days later, the local title company here in Colorado asked when they planned to send their funds. That's when the floor fell out. The email was fake. The account was overseas. The money was gone, and still is. They're now living in their kid's basement, starting over at 70. Now, here's what kills me about this. They never once picked up the phone to verify anything. Not with the title company, not with their agent. And that's the moral of the story, because here in the Denver market, we double check everything. Home values, inspection reports, everything. And the one thing that matters the most, verify who's going to be handling your money. Here in Colorado, most of the closings are going to go through a licensed title company. So you can call the title company that holds your earnest money, or you can call your agent always, right? Either way, pick up the phone before you send a dime. Use numbers you already have, not the ones that just came across in an email. That small pause could save your life savings and a few of my gray hairs as well. Now this next scam, boy, this is a real doozy, and this one hits close to home. A few years ago, one of my long-term clients, a single mom who I'd helped years before when her boys were in middle school, reached out because she wanted to add her oldest son to the title. Now, she'd filled out a quitclaim deed and sent it to him to take down to the county for recording. A few days later, she sent me a copy just to make sure everything looked right, and thank goodness she did. My title examiner and I caught it. He had switched the names. Her name was gone, and his name was now listed as sole owner. If she hadn't sent it to me, she would have signed away her home without realizing it. That was one of the hardest phone calls I've ever had to make, and I'd watch those boys grow up. It's a brutal reminder that fraud isn't always from strangers. Scammers, and sometimes family, can manipulate trust when paperwork gets complex. So here's what I tell everyone. Always have your realtor, or here in Colorado, your title company, review any deed changes before recording. Never sign something you don't completely understand. And in the Denver metro area right now, most counties are offering free property fraud alert services that email you the second anything gets filed under your name, so you can confirm whether that was your intention or not. Now, the next one is really for if you're between homes or just testing out a new Denver area neighborhood before buying again. Renting for a few months can make sense, but that window of, "Oh, I just need something right now," is exactly where scammers strike. They post gorgeous listings, great location, great price, everything freshly remodeled. You message them, and suddenly there's a story. "Oh, I'm out of town for work, but if you wire the deposit today, I'll hold it for you." You never see the place. They vanish the second your money hits their account. Sometimes they'll even pull a bait and switch. You show up and the home you thought you rented is no longer available, but they just happen to have another one across town for a few hundred more. Now here in the Denver metro area, this happens a lot with high demand areas, anywhere where good schools and trails meet tight inventory. So here's what to watch for. Rents that seem far below market for the area. Landlords who can't meet in person or claim they're overseas. Requests to wire money, use gift cards, or pay deposits before you've actually stepped inside. And here's how you can protect yourself. Look for MLS watermarks on listing photos. Copy and paste the address into Google to see if it appears on legitimate brokerage sites. Always verify ownership through county property records. It takes 2 minutes and it can save you thousands. And never send money until you've seen the property in person and confirmed who actually owns or manages it. And if you're in that in-between stage, renting while you're scouting your next community, lean on your realtor. We can help verify listings, connect you with licensed property managers, or spot red flags before you can even click send. You know, a short-term rental can be a smart bridge to your next chapter. Just don't let it turn into a detour. Now, wire fraud and title theft are the big monsters, but there are plenty of side creeps out there. Fake rental listings, cash buyer cons, loan flipping schemes that drain seniors' equity one refinance at a time. And they all have the same calling cards: pressure, urgency, and missing details. If someone's pushing you to move faster than you're comfortable with, step back. A real deal will still be there tomorrow, especially in today's market. You know, the truth is these scams work because people trust, and I'd never tell you to stop trusting. Just verify before you act. If you want to dig deeper, I've got a full breakdown with links to fraud alerts and federal reporting resources in my blog post, How to Spot Real Estate Scams and Protect Your Investment. The link is in the description. And at the same time, you can also grab my free download, Think You've Been Scammed? What to Do Next. It walks you step by step through who to call and how to report it fast. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Peggy Durstoff, a realtor with Live Denver Suburbs, powered by HomeSmart. And I help women over 50 make smart, confident moves, especially when they're doing it solo after a big life change. Thinking about moving, but feeling buried under the details? Well, my Solo Solo Journey playlist walks you through the real stuff. How to let go of the extras, plan your next move, and keep your sanity while you do it. I've linked it below and over here. In the meantime, stay smart, stay safe, and don't let the real monsters near your money.